friends, sharing my healing journey here at Wildwood and talking about teas. Teas are going to be an essential part of your healing process when you are treating your cancer or your disease naturally. So I'm going to go through some of the teas that have been ordered for me by the doctor. There is a specific prescription like procedure to how much I need to take in during the day, how to make it. And the wonderful thing about Wildwood here is they have everything. They provide the teas, they provide the tea set. But if you are going to go down this natural route, you are going to have to buy some essential things to do your own teas. And I'll show you real quickly what they are. The set is going to include a mesh strainer. I've already been using this. We love using these quart-sized jars because most of the time when you're drinking your teas, you can store them in the refrigerator, but you're going to be drinking at least a quart, at least 4 cups a day, whatever prescription tea the doctor orders, or whatever tea that you decide to use yourself with treating your cancer or your diabetes or your pain. Okay, and remember, you don't need a doctor's prescription to do any of these teas, and that's the beauty of really taking the bull by the horns and doing it naturally, because you don't have to be at a facility like I am. All these teas are available online. Like this one is the white willow bark. That is really good for pain. I have here the Pau de Arco, which is ordered for a cancer. And there's a whole slew of other ones like Asiac, there's slippery elm, there's white lettuce. There's so many different natural teas out there that treat so many different ailments. And you know, you can get them at health food stores, you can get them online. The other thing that you may want to consider getting also is a seep cup, especially if you're doing just like 1 cup at a time. A lot of people will just make themselves some mint tea or some sippy time tea. And you can even do like a cup of your white willow bark at a time instead of making them in bigger batches. So the seep cups are really, really nice. But then what you're going to do during the day, I like to make bigger batches. You know, when you're doing as much as we're doing here, I usually double the recipe. And that way it stores well in the refrigerator, and then I can get my quart a day without having to worry about going back in the stove. Okay, and then the other thing I want to add about your teas, and this is really important because we're going to be cooking them on the stovetop, and you're going to need some proper cookware. Now, we all know that there are some cookware that you just want to avoid, like aluminum and anything with Teflon in it. Also, copper pots and pans are not very healthy either, and anything that is dented or has scratches, even your good cookware, because it's going to release some of those chemicals. You know, the best cookware is, and I used to use this on the homestead, is cast iron. If you get a cast iron pot, it would work perfect for your tea making. But otherwise, you know, titanium is good. You know, Faberware has some great stuff. But just really be aware that cookware is going to be important. So get something decent. You're going to need something between a 1.5 quart and even getting something as big for your bigger batches of this is out there. This is a 3-quart pot, so anywhere between a 1.5 and a 3-quart pot is what you're going to need for your tea making. And the other thing that I really like too are these little tiny spatulas. When you are straining your teas, they really get into the very corners, the tight spots of your. And then one final thing, because this may come up while I'm making the teas, can you reuse your teas? And the answer is yes, you can reuse your teas. I have gotten at least 2 batches out of my tea, And what I do is I'll do one batch and I strain it after I steep it, and I put it in a half pint or whatever, your pint jar. And you have to refrigerate it to make sure that it doesn't grow any mold. It needs to be cold and chilled. And just bring it out when you're ready to do another batch. And you'll see when it starts losing its effectiveness, because it won't be, the water won't look like tea anymore. But indeed, don't throw out your tea after the first batch. You're going to be wasting a lot of money on tea if that's the case. Okay, I hope that was really helpful about getting started with tea making. Such a great medicinal element to have in your whole health regime. And even if you aren't sick, teas are really great just for promoting, optimizing your health. So remember that. Be watching for more, because the next video you'll see is how you make your teas. All right, God bless.